You are listening to Däs Bündesliga Show here on the Lock Betting Podcast. You can follow the Lock Betting Podcast account on Twitter. It's at lockbetting.com. That's at lockbetting.com. I'm not in love with the Bundesliga slate today, so we're only going to cover a few key games. We'll begin with the game between Bayern Munich and Mons, where Bayern Munich are the 1-4 favourites. It's 11-2 on the draw, and it's 17-2 here on Mons. I'm happy to take Bayern Munich to cover a minus 1.5 Asian handicap line at the price of 4-6 minus 150. Bayern Munich are comfortably the leading scorers in the league. They average around 3 goals a game. They scored 32 goals in 11 games. And I think they can get enough goals here to cover the handicap against Mons after dominating Barcelona in midweek. Bayern Munich have won without a reply and by multi-goal margins in each of their last 4 games. So this team are definitely improving defensively, and that's going to definitely help them to cover the Asian handicap line here at the price of 4-6 minus 150. Up next, we look at the game between RB Leipzig and Bayer Leverkusen, where Leipzig are the 7-10 favourites. It's 3-1 on the draw, and it's 10-3 here on Bayer Leverkusen. Bayer Leverkusen got a positive result in midweek. It wasn't positive for us, but it was positive for them. They managed to knock Atletico Madrid out of the Champions League by getting a surprise draw at the Wanda. They'll be looking to build on that here against an RB Leipzig team who are coming off a very, very impressive win against Real Madrid at home. That now puts them in a very, very strong position to qualify. All they need to do is go to Shakhtar and avoid a defeat. Both these teams are looking to kickstart their league season. Leverkusen are just above the relegation zone with 9 points from 11, a very poor season. And Leipzig, they've done a little bit better, but they'll still be massively disappointed with their return of 16 points from 11 games, sitting 9th in the table. I'm going to take RB Leipzig here on the money line. RB Leipzig have had extra rest. They also haven't had to come back from Spain. They played Real Madrid at home, and therefore I think that gives them the significant rest edge here in this game. There should be goals in this game. Leverkusen are without a clean sheet in 12 head-to-head meetings with Leipzig, with both teams to score cashing in 5 of the last 7 head-to-head meetings between the two teams. Coming into this game, Leipzig now haven't had a loss in 8 games, whereas Leverkusen haven't had a win in 4. They also haven't had a clean sheet in 4. There's more data for goals here. 4 of the last 5 involving Leipzig have seen over 2.5 goals. All of Leverkusen's last 5 games have seen over 2.5 goals, and both teams have scored in 5 of the last 7 involving RB Leipzig. So you could definitely go down the goals angle, and it is a strong one. But I just really feel this is a good spot to take Leipzig off rest. They're the better team, and I feel that they'll win here against Leverkusen, making their season even more miserable here. So Leipzig on the money line is my selection here for this one. Up next, we look at the late game from today. It's Eintracht Frankfurt at home to Borussia Dortmund, where Eintracht Frankfurt are the narrow 13-8 underdogs. It's 5-2 on draw, and it's 5-2 on the draw, and Borussia Dortmund are the 6-4 plus 150 narrow favourites. This is a difficult game to call. I lean Borussia Dortmund, but my main selection here would be on the goals. Over 2.5 goals individually is too juiced, as is both teams to score. So I would put them both together. That gives you a decent line of 10-11 minus 110. Frankfurt have actually scored at least twice in 5 straight matches in all competitions, and they'll face a stern test here against Borussia Dortmund, who have scored 7 times across their last 3 games. So we're going to ride the over 2.5 goals with the both teams to score tacked on, and that selection is available for you here at 10-11 in this one. Up next, we look at the game between Union Berlin and Borussia Mönchengladbach. Union coming to the weekend still top of the league despite last week's defeat away to Bochum. That was a poor result. They'll be worried now they're moving in the wrong direction, but they are a stronger home team and they face a very inconsistent Borussia Mönchengladbach team here on Sunday. They'll probably be looking to go back top of the league. They'll probably be knocked off on Saturday if my predictions are correct. They are the 6-5 favourites to pick up that win. It's 12-5 on the draw, and Borussia Mönchengladbach here are available at 5-2. I think Union get back on track here. They're very, very solid at home. As I said, they also won in Europe in midweek at home. They haven't conceded a goal in over 6 hours of play on their own turf. and they should have enough quality here to bounce back from last week's shock defeat against Gladbach, who travel pretty poorly. Union Berlin are unbeaten in 5 of the last 6 head-to-head encounters with this Gladbach team, winning 3, drawing 2 and losing 1, and Gladbach are winless in each of the last 6 away games. So I think this Union defence carries them here in this game. They get themselves back on track and they go back to the top of the table on Sunday. So Union Berlin on the money line at the price of 6-5. The final game I've decided to cover also happens on Sunday. It's between Cologne and Hoffenheim, where Cologne are the 21-10 underdogs. It's 13-5 on the draw, and Hoffenheim are available for you here at 6-5 plus 120. Hoffenheim having a strong season, and I'll take them to win this game. I would shop around for a better price because there are some 5-4s and 13-10s available. Cologne have suffered a number of poor defeats lately, and they could be in for yet another one here from Hoffenheim, who are pushing for European football. The visitors are in solid form, and I expect them to get the better of Cologne, who have conceded 12 times across the last 3 Bundesliga games. Hoffenheim averaged 3 goals scored per game across their last 5 head-to-heads, and they're unbeaten in 3 of their last 4 Bundesliga away games. So I think I'll take Hoffenheim to get this done. As I said, shop around. They're generally available at 5-4 on the money line to get it done away to Cologne tomorrow. Closing out with your lock on the show. This was a tough one. I was torn between 2 selections happening today, but I've decided to go with RB Leipzig as your lock on this show. This is a very, very good spot. If you can beat Real Madrid at home in the Champions League, even if Real Madrid rotated, they have to be far better than Leverkusen, especially a Leverkusen team who are a dumpster fire at the moment. Xabi Alonso hasn't been able to find the consistency. He did cost us money, or his team did cost us money in midweek, but that's just because Atletico Madrid were very, very poor. They were making uncharacteristic mistakes, and towards the end of the game, they dominated. They just weren't able to get it over the line. Leipzig are in a good spot here. They've had more rest. They've had an extra day of rest. They played at home, whereas Leverkusen have travelled from across Spain. I think this is a good spot to take Leipzig at a good price at 7-10 on the money line here in this one. That's it for me. Good luck with all of your bets as always, and thanks for listening.